All right, we are live. My name is Dr. Sharnael Wolverton Sehan. I am here with Swiftfire International and with Craig Walker here today. This is very impromptu, and thank you for taking a couple minutes, Craig, for us to share real quick. But would love to hear where you guys are from, what's going on, where you're watching from, what city, state, country, wherever, and please do share. Go to the website, all the stuff anyway, get on the newsletter. But the reason why I got on today and when I asked Craig to join me is about a decade ago, when I started actually, well, it was 2010 when I wrote Keys to Third Heaven. The, I guess, core of how that book came to pass or came through had to do with an encounter that I have with true and living true, and just that connection change that happened with me and the DNA. And following that period of time, what happened is I kept hearing this question over and over in my head. And the question was, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you thinking? And I wanted to pop back on because in the last few weeks, the question has changed to, where are you? And at first I didn't understand, just like I didn't understand when I was getting, what are you thinking? I was like, what do you mean, what am I thinking? I'm thinking about whatever, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about that. Like, someone getting a divorce, or what I got to do tomorrow, or whatever. And the point of what are you thinking is because a lot of times I was thinking about things that were absolutely terrible, out of my control, not fruitful in any way, that were only going to go into the field and create more things to come back that were negative to keep the rotation going. And with this question, I was like, okay, where are you? I'm like, what the heck does that mean? But when I asked myself that, when I realized where I was at that moment was thinking about, I was literally seeing myself in a situation that had happened years ago. And it wasn't a good situation, but I was like, just reviewing it for some reason. Hit the replay on a situation. And then it wasn't too much longer later in the day, it came back. Where are you? I heard, where are you? And I realized I was in the car driving, but my mind was like in another situation. I had like time jumped. I had time traveled into some place that could have been, like, in other words, the worst case scenario situation of like, what if this happens kind of deal, where I'd put myself there. And now that has been a few weeks, I'm catching myself over and over, and I keep hearing, where are you? Where are you? And every time that happens, I'm realizing that I'm doing this way more than I realized, of just being completely not present, of thinking something else, or being somewhere else, or being in front of people, but not being with them. And being present is the best place to be as far as your brain chemistry, your abilities to connect with people, all of those things. So I wanted to bring that up in conversation and hear what you have to say about that, Craig, because I know you have a lot to say about it.
I've got lots about everything. Yeah, no, that's really brilliant. When when I started looking into sort of meditation and prayer and things like that, I had to go to. I started researching what the Buddhists taught about meditation, because quite frankly, in the Christian world, there's very, very little on it. And they really, really hone in on the fact that, be present, be in the present moment, and put your feet on the ground, your bum on the seat, and just be. And that's, we're so conditioned to be doing something all the time, and like you just said, we're not fully engaging the moment where we're at. And we're either worrying about the future or stressing about something that happened in the past, and that's irrelevant to now. And this is really the foundation for manifestation. What you're like you just said, and again, it's good to remember these things. the what you are, the energy that you're putting out now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, now is what will manifest in your life. So that's a really good lesson. And I mean, on a practical level, I'll be sat at home or whatever, and my kids will be around, and I'll be sat there on my phone, just like not looking at them. And something in me goes, look at your kids, be with your kids, be with them now, put the phone down, kids, what are you doing? Let's have a chat, let's talk, and certainly in this modern age of technology and social media and things like that, I get absorbed in it, as people well know. There are times just to put it down and just be, remember what's important.
That's so good. Yeah, I talked to Leslie Davis about this a few times, and I refer to that as being in a box within a box within a box within a box, because we're in, this matrix box, in the galaxy, and then there's like that box of our programming, the box of our house, the box of our screens, the box of our inner phone. You can actually be in, I mean, I don't know if you've experienced this, being in on your phone where you're in and you're in such a conversation with that person. It's like you're there to, if someone comes to talk to you, it's like an interruption because you're in the box, you're in the phone, they don't know you're there, but you are literally in. I am literally in. So, the box within the box scenario versus just all the walls down being. And I love that you brought that up, because when I went through my pulling back from the church box, I was in seminary, I was working, I was leading Bible studies, I was leading worship, I was leading intercessory prayer, I was in all this stuff with church, and God, I kept feeling like to pull back and I heard, be still and know that I'm God. And so I went through this whole, I'm going to quit all this stuff for a while, put it on hold, and I'm just going to sit and meditate and be with God and, just practice presence. And then when I would start to look at all these books and CDs and things that I had kind of put on hold because I was so busy, I'm like, oh, well, I have all this time now. I'm going to go read. And I'd start to pick up the book and I would feel like a check, like, nope, not even that. And so I was like, well, you know what, God, just tell me what I can do. I might be an easier list. And it was just like, you can take care of you, your family, and you can chill out with me. And so most of the time I would just sit in the living room on the floor, wait on God, try to hear, and that meditation thing, man, you could time travel all day long in the meditation and not be like even present in that. But when I heard it was be still and know that I'm God, then it was be still. And then one day I was sitting there and I heard be. This is back in 2002 or 3. Be. And I was like, be? How do you be? Like, that just feels like not, I had been caught up in this performance thing and realizing that was so much attached to my identity. And, like, oh my God, she's quitting intercessory prayer, heathen. Oh my God, she left the Bible study. Like, oh, she's not going to church every time the door's open. And being okay with my strength and knowing that was what I was supposed to do. Or leaving seminary in the middle of semester with great grades. It's like, what? What is she doing? So, but yeah, that was a good point, to just being and what being looks like. So what does being look like to you?
I think in relation to sort of prayer and things, you've hit the nail on the head with communion with God, with divine, with whatever that is to you as an individual, and to always be consciously aware of divine union. That we're not alone, that we're way more powerful than, and we are places, we are seated in heavenly places as well as being grounded in the earth. So from that place of a conscious awareness of divine union, just let the flow of life happen. I've spoken about this before. I looked into what's called Chinese Wu Wei, the Eastern philosophies really are good at stuff like this. Wu Wei basically sees life as the flow of a river. You can't stop it. You can't contribute to it. You just let it happen. good and bad. And you just basically make the most of every moment that you're in. Do what's right for the moment there and then, and everything else will take care of itself. And when you're in that energetic place, that's the perfect seedbed for manifestation of where you want truly want or need to be. Rest and labor to enter into that rest, be at perfect rest. And certainly with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, that's tough, because I'll sit down to meditate and I'm like, COVID this, and getting angry about that, and shut it out. You have to be disciplined to get that stuff out your head and just be. All is well. And I trust in God. I trust in the higher realms, that we're in safe hands. It's just very uncomfortable while all this stuff's going on. So it's a really good time to practice sort of being asleep on the boat, so to speak, whilst all this chaos is happening. So in the future, I think we'll look back at this time and be like, this was a great time of preparation for where we're headed. I really believe that.
Yeah. Discipline, definitely discipline. And even with the question of where are you? When I first got the first question years ago is, what are you thinking? I put Post-its all over just so I would catch myself, because I didn't even know that I was thinking what I was thinking. I was so in autopilot of just all over the place that I wasn't even aware of the thoughts, which it's, to be aware. God says in scripture, he talks about guard your heart, for it's the wellspring of light. And that word guard means to be aware. It doesn't mean to protect. It means to be aware. Why is he saying, or God saying, to be aware? Because the wellspring of life brings the law of karma, which you only get what you are. The law of attraction, you only get what you are. So whatever you put out, you only get. So God's saying, be careful. Now, I'm thinking about going to get some post office, go to the post office, pick up some supplies for some Post-its and put them everywhere. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Because I choose to be present, which is to be present, which is to be a present for those who you're with at the time, even if that is an audience of one, which is God and me, union. Mm-hmm. And if we're constantly thinking and putting out, there isn't a lot that can come in or come through. So that clarity is what really is cool. Is that you?
That's me beeping. I've just opened the windows because I'm boiling.
Sorry. We'll keep it short. Yes. Okay. We love that Craig got in his car to do this.
I had to get in the car.
I've done many mom van classes because that was the only place that I could go, and so thank you for that. But yeah, we just had a hurricane here. We were out of power for a couple of days. We still don't have water. We just got back internet, so things have been kind of quiet, but it's just given me a lot to hear what I'm hearing, with everything that shut down and whatever, to go back to where are you? And I encourage everybody who's watching to please think about what you're thinking about and think about where you are, because wherever you are, if we're in some other place, then we're missing the place that we're at, and could be causing stress in the body. Because if we're practicing fear of the past or reliving those things, or if we're going through the worst case scenarios, then that isn't going to be helpful to the chemistry, which causes health issues and also attracting more negative, versus staying in God, love, presence, putting out, radiating that, and then getting a match to that. So that's just definitely something to think about. But any more thoughts?
To those that don't know, well, you won't know because I only found out before. I've just been banned for 30 days again on Facebook. It's kind of a running joke. I do have other accounts, but now Facebook have linked those two with my original account, so I can't even use them anymore. So, yeah, I can look at things, but I can't comment, like, or anything for 30 days now.
I thought you could still use your other ones. You can't use anything?
Can't use anything now.
Wow.
They figured it out. So the thing is, though, it was ridiculous. It was for a comment about 4 or 5 weeks ago. It just flagged it up today, and I think because I put a post on before, go and have a look about. I don't want to ruin your channel. A certain, I'll just say, is ivermectin okay to say? I don't even know.
I would.
Basically, I've phoned up my doctors today, and just said, can I have some, please? I'm kind of just pressing the water, just trying it out. Like, I'd like to have some, please. And the receptionist was very kind and said, I'll get a doctor to ring you, because I'm asthmatic, so I'm classed as high risk. So I got a phone call from the doctor, very arrogant, very upset. Why do you want ivermectin? You're not going to get that in the NHS. We don't prescribe it for COVID. I said, can I ask why not? And there's loads of studies that show that how brilliant it is. And she just didn't give me an answer. She was really angry. No, you're not going to get it. See you later. And that was the end of that. So I put a post on Facebook about it, kind of a bit upset, like, this is ridiculous. And next thing I know, I've got a 30-day ban.
Wow.
So my point being, I was just going to link it in with what we're talking about, is actually what I found is, because I know I'm pretty active on Facebook. Some people criticize me for it, but it's a good way to keep in touch with people across the pond and around the world and to keep in touch. But when you ban, you can't comment on anything. It helps. It reminds you, get out, step out. Just remember, be in the present moment, enjoy the presence, enjoy life, just enjoy real life, not social media life,
Real life.
Yeah. So it's a blessing in disguise, and I will make the most of it. I am frustrated. It does annoy me. It shouldn't be happening. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. And whilst I'm on, if I may, I'm actually doing a show with Kingdom Talks tomorrow night as well. With Karen Britt and Gil Hodges. If anybody knows who that is, I won't be able to share it on my page, you see. So if anybody's listening, feel free to tune in. It'd be great to see you there.
Awesome. They're interviewing me right after or right before you. So I don't know how that worked, but Karen had said, oh, you're on the same day with Craig. Of course, that would make sense that we would,
of course it would.
brothers and sisters on the same day. So if there's a way I can share it, I'll get her to see if we could share it on my page, since your page is whatever.
Yeah, if you tag me in things, I can still approve it, so people will see it on my timeline.
Okay, cool.
I just can't comment or like anything.
Awesome. All right. And tomorrow also I am interviewing Laura, or we're doing a panel with Laura, Alina, Dr. Rainey Curtis, Leslie Davis.
That's a great panel.
Talking about the divine femme in this day and age. And so you guys can make sure to tune in for that. I'm also interviewing, this is going to be fun, Thomas John, the seatbelt psychic. And we're going to talk about the seer anointing and the cloud of witnesses. So that's interesting. And then Thursday night, I have Dannon O'Brien. So that is going to be we're going to talk about death and near-death experiences. Mm-hmm. So you guys tune in for that. Make sure you're following, sharing. Those are ways that you can help me. You can help us, just getting the word out. You can go to Amazon and leave a good review for my book. That helps me. People are always asking, how can you help? How can you help? That's ways you can help. Get the word out. Give good reviews so other people may be able to see the information or get the information, the resources. Go to swiftfire.org and grab the newsletter. And I do have 10 spots open for remote scans right now, too. I'm doing biofeedback. One of the things that we're seeing a lot is effects from the thing that we can't talk about right here. So the scans have completely changed, and it's biofeedback, meaning I can see what's going on, and then we send frequency energies back to you remote to move those things out and to help support you physically, mentally, spiritually, wherever you are. So I think that's good. I know you got to get back in the house, and we have an interview coming up with Karina too. We haven't locked down a date, but I'll get with you on that. It'll be in October. So
ready when you are. Yeah.
You guys all stay tuned. I love you so much. It's good to see you. I haven't been on in a while because of all this, but do stay tuned and keep in the present. Remember presence, and remember what you're thinking, and remember your presence, and remember your love. And I love all of you so much, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.